I'm Vula Saridakis, and I'm a curator here at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, and I'm part of the team that takes care of the 35,000 plus artifacts. And today we're going to explore 5 fun facts and hidden treasures throughout the museum. So I'm standing in front of the United Boeing 727 inside the newly reimagined Take Flight exhibit. This Boeing 727 flew into Chicago in 1993. It was put on a barge and temporarily taken to Indiana for storage until they started to fix up the space in here for the Take Flight exhibit. And then when everything was ready, they brought the 727 back to the beach and hauled it across Lakeshore Drive in much the same way as the U-505 submarine was pulled across Lakeshore Drive 40 years previously. And they moved the jet to the west entrance, and in order to get it into the museum, they had to remove the wings and the tail, as well as one of the 32-ton ionic columns on the west entrance, and move it inside the museum, reassemble it, repaint it, get the space ready, and then bring it up here to the balcony level. So we're standing inside the Weiss Boardroom, which is used for private events and for meetings. It's just inside the entrance to the Extreme Ice exhibit, and this space used to be the outer office for President Lenox Lore, who was president of the museum from 1940 to 1968. And this is demonstrated in this bird's eye rendering of this space where you see several chairs for guests, as well as 3 desks for the secretaries, along with 3 chairs and 3 ashtrays, because it was the 1950s after all. And in the corner of Weiss Boardroom is a small space that used to be part of the inner office where Lenox Lore worked. And that space, together with that space in the silver elevators, would have been his inner office. So we're standing in front of the Vortex in the Science Storms exhibit, which is an exhibit all about the science behind some of nature's most powerful phenomenon, including tornadoes. And under the grate of the vortex are 48 fog modules sitting on a pond of water that create the water vapor. And up in the ceiling is a huge fan the size of a small car that helps pull up that water vapor. And in the walls are ducts and dampers that control the airflow and the rotational speed. And guests can come up here and move these levers to control the shape of the vortex as well as its speed. So we're standing inside the north portico of the museum, and this used to be the original entrance to the museum when it first opened in 1933. And this space has retained its Art Deco elements. So that includes these bronze plaques that are on the central doors, as well as the plaques that are along the walls of various gods and goddesses, all of which represent the science and technology and industry that you'll find in the museum. And here's a fun fact. In 1893, this used to originally be the Palace of Fine Arts for the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, and it is the only remaining building from the 1893 World's Fair. So we're standing inside collections in the museum where we store 35,000 plus artifacts, some of which are out on the floor. One of our more interesting artifacts, which has often been called the world's most dangerous toy, is this atomic energy lab made in 1950 by the A.C. Gilbert Company. They made about 5,000 of these units. And it comes with a number of instruments inside, including a Geiger counter, as well as 7 radioactive sources. But it's about the same amount of radiation that you would be exposed to if you were standing outside on a sunny day. Thank you for exploring the Museum of Science and Industry with me, and we hope that you come visit the museum sometime soon.